Okay. Scott Heckman with Rep Force. We have a few different lines here today. The first one would be New Pig. So we have a couple of newer things for New Pig. The up and coming is for the booth floors, paint booth floors. It's also good for top of toolboxes and things like that. It's solvent resistant, has a nice grippy mat. A lot of guys will put them in paint booths and use a vacuum and vacuum the floor out. And it lasts a pretty good long time. I think usually about a year, depending on how you use it. If you travel in cars in and out, but it works really, really well. Definitely a new up and coming thing. It's been out for about a year, but it's really starting to take traction for cleanliness of booths.
So the traction, is it traction on the bottom too?
So it actually has a grippy on the bottom, yes.
Oh, okay.
So you actually peel it. So it comes in a large roll. So this is just a sample roll, but you can get it up to 3 feet wide. So you get up to 3 feet wide and just wheel it out right onto the booth floor. It's self-sticky, so it doesn't, you don't have to tape it or anything like that, which is really, really nice.
Yeah.
And also solvent-proof for oil-resistant and that stuff.
And does it pull back up well, or does it leave? Yeah.
It does after, at first, if you try to put it down after about a few weeks and try to pull it back up, it's going to be tough.
Okay.
So it lasts a long time, but once a lot of booths have heat cycles, so it'll break down over time, and then usually by about a year, you know it's time to change it out. So it helps out. This is a pretty unique product that a lot of people are familiar with your standard pig, which will absorb oil, water, and things like that. This will actually only absorb oil, and it repels water. So if you have a vehicle outside in your driveway or in a parking lot of your company, and and it's raining, but you don't want the oil on the ground, you put this underneath the car, and it'll only absorb oils, not water. So it won't oversaturate, and it'll do its job. So it's a great, great product.
Wow. Because I use your regular one.
Yes.
I have it under my Blackstone in case we get too much oil in the back or whatever.
Yes.
But
so that would
that's
be a great
cool
product.
idea. Yeah.
So you'll have to take a few of these for your Blackstone.
Oh, there we go.
So
I'll be back with a bag. No.
I like your style. A tried and true one is our pig socks for spills and things like that contain. A lot of people call it the snakes. So you just kind of put it around an oil drum or an oil spill when it absorbs. Great for emergency spills and emergency kits. The other one is almost like a lot of people use this for in their tool rooms or mixing rooms and things like that. It's just a really heavy-duty solvent-proof floor covering. So it works really well. They call it the grippy mat. Anti-slip, things like that. So great product. So those are the greatest things for pig. We can move on to RTI if you'd like.
Okay.
RTI is a Pennsylvania-based company in Reading, PA. They do a lot of different things, but their main is air filtration. Believe it or not, RTI actually started in the medical industry. So they needed good, clean air. As the air tools in the medical industry started becoming more and more common, the compressors in these hospitals were breaking down these air tools and getting people sick because there wasn't enough good filtration in these hospitals. So they started out with the medical field. We've moved it into the automotive field. The unique properties of RTI is it uses desiccant, but it's a sealed unit and it uses the entire unit. So in a unit here, the unique thing with RTI units are you have to figure air is a lot like electricity, where it'll travel to the path of least resistance. So if you just have a filter and the filter's just a pass through and it's this big, your air is just going to travel down and around and out. You're going to lose all of your filtration and your coalescent in the filters. So the unique thing with RTI is it actually creates a vortex and it'll use your entire element. Very, very important. You get your money's worth. So, and that's how we allow better filtration, that they can use for the medical field. And all of the units use that technology. It's a great technology, a great local company. They make very, very good products. And they do also piping for booths and shops and things like that. great company when it comes to availability, questions. They're great customer service. A lot of people would compare this, your do-it-yourselfers, to your shark fittings in the plumbing world. So it's very similar technology. Okay, so next we will show a lot of shops will have their air compressor plumbed to the entire shop and then limit or put your regulator right before your tools. Another unique one is this is coming right out of a compressor. This is your main line regulator. So less leaks in the shop. Usually a compressor runs 150 to 175 psi. Rather than most of your tools run perfectly on 100 psi, 110 psi. So you want to regulate your entire shop right after the compressor or your dryer. That way you have less likely to have any leaks in your shop. And you won't blow out some seals in your tools. You'll find that your tools last a lot longer as well. So there's quite a few different options when it comes to mainline regulators. So a great addition and a great thing to protect your investments of all of your tools in your shop. A unique thing with RTI hoses, these are probably more geared towards the paint world and paint booths. So a lot of places will use like an inexpensive hose in a paint booth. And the benefit of using a better quality hose, especially if you have a heated booth, is it won't break down. So usually when you get into, RTI will actually come in and do, let me show you here, they'll actually come and do some audits. So you'll actually get contaminants where you'll see, fine desiccant breaking down from an inexpensive filter, or even your hoses will start breaking down with your fibers. So the benefit of having a good quality hose is you will have no contaminants in your air lines or your paint jobs or even through your air tools. So very important to have, good quality equipment. So, okay, so next we have the SP Airline, a great quality tool. They're gear driven. A couple of unique features on the SP Air is we'll go over to right here. So they're actually, it's patented. It's a sealed unit, and we'll kind of show a little bit here, but it has an impact mechanism. And that's very important, especially with, with some of your shops with safeties. So what that means is the impact mechanism is, if you zoom in right here, you won't get your knuckles smashed off the machine. And I can't say it because mine are pretty trash, so I probably should have had these years ago. But it's very important, especially when it comes to safety in a shop. So what happens is if it catches, it'll actually release and not smash your hand off or even pinch it in between a machine. I've had that happen. It's very scary, especially when you're working in machinery at factories. So definitely a big bonus. Kudos to these guys for figuring that out. Safety is always important in a shop. They have quite a couple different lines, all gear driven. They're very nice quality tools, great pricing. One of my favorites is probably their air saws, and I love them because it's very hard to stall them out. So with your air saws, usually you'll cut through metal. I can cut through probably 1/2 inch. Granted, I have to have a good quality blade, but 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch metal, it will not stall out. It's a very impressive tool.
Can you take your plastic off that blade?
Yeah, sure.
So I can see?
Oh, right here.
It's okay, whichever it is.
No, this is good. Yep.
Can you put it there? One more this way a little bit. So there you go. You need to be able to see white behind it.
So this is our short, and then we also have your standard saw. This one is my demo, so it's been put to good use.
I like it when they look like real tools.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what your tools will look like. But, I'll take this into shop, and the nice thing about it, you have to use the tools. I learn with my hands, and I'm sure a lot of people out there are the same way. You take your standard on, your blue points or even your IRs, you take your standard saw and cut a piece of metal. You take the same metal and cut it with one of these, and it cuts like butter. It's just so smooth. And you know, our techs aren't getting any younger, so there's less vibration as well. So that's definitely a bonus. So saving your hands. A couple other little tools, and we have a little sander. It's pneumatic sander and polisher. Great tools. There's a lot of them out there, but these ones again are gear driven, hard to stall out. They're just a great line of tools.
Is that a DA sander, or is that just a standard?
It is a DA sander, absolutely. Yeah, it's a dual action sander, which is huge. A lot of companies out there will only make a rotary sander. So this will actually, you know, dirt nibs and things like that for your dual action, absolutely.
What type of paper can we get for that?
So this is Hook It paper. This comes with a standard 2-inch backer, but all of your major sandpaper companies usually have a 3-inch backer, and their backers will fit on this tool. So I've actually tried it personally. You know, your major companies out there. So usually you would want to swap it out, to be honest with you, with a 3-inch. The kit does come with a few different sheets, but long term you'll probably want to switch that out, and usually your main sandpaper companies will supply you with a backer. Okay, next we have Performance Tool. So Performance Tool has a huge line of tools. The great thing about that is the majority of the stuff is lifetime warranty, all the hand tools and things like that. So I'm aging myself and dating myself, so I would compare this almost like to a Craftsman line, where if you buy it from a local place and you break a tool, you take it in and they give you a new ratchet, new socket, new wrench. I miss those days for sure. So it's a great option. Great priced. So a lot of guys, you see a lot of your do-it-yourselfers and your shop guys are going to Harbor Freight and buying tools. So it's similar pricing to that, but much higher quality and a much better warranty as well. So they have a huge line from hand tools. So nice big torque wrench. So, yep, you have your 3/4. Believe it or not, that's a pretty popular item. They're tough to find out there. And it's great price. I think the price on this one is around $289 retail.
Wow.
So that's not for a huge, torque wrench. And then again, they go anywhere from that to tie downs, to jump packs. We have a lot of different lighting. A great tool here. This is one of my favorites. This is actually a brake pad spreader. So. A lot of us doing brakes will jam a screwdriver in there and kind of wedge it around and hope we don't hurt anything or our hands. This is a great option. You actually put that in the caliper and it ratchets your caliper closed. Great tool. And again, they great pricing. All right, guys, I appreciate your time. I'm Scott Heckman with Rep Force. Hope I helped you out today, and thanks for coming in.